I'd like to share with you, in that the research that has come out recently said that there are 8 behaviors of teachers that are necessary for reading instruction. Number 1, the teacher provides whatever number of practices are needed for each child to learn a specific skill. They found that slow students generally need 1/3 more practices than average students. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, I don't know whether that's really true or not. But I went back to my classroom and I found that that research is right on. For instance, let me give you an example. The first 6 weeks of first grade in my class, I literally drenched the children in the alphabet. We studied how to write the letters, upper and lowercase, and the sounds of the letters. And I find that at the end of 6 weeks, well, it's 1 day per letter, at the 6-week end, most of the children, almost every child, knew those perfectly, but there would always be 2 or 3 that were a little weak with some of the letters at the end of the alphabet. They weren't quite sure about Y and W and X. And I found that if I would continue that practice for 2 more weeks, that would be 1/3 more practices, that they really had it mastered. And that doesn't sound impossible, does it? For us as teachers to provide 1/3 more practices for those students who need it. Number 2, the teacher provides whatever time is necessary to adequately practice the skill. Number 3, the teacher assumes the responsibility for motivating the student. That's a big one. Paying greater attention, of course, to good behavior was found to be more motivating than constant attention to poor behavior. Number 4, the teacher diagnoses and prescribes instantly. Now that's really big one, and I thought, oh, they're really putting us on to say that we should be able to prescribe and diagnose instantly for students in our classes. But I think after you see what we're going to show you on this tape of the steps to teach reading, I think you'll find that diagnosing and prescribing becomes an automatic thing for you. You'll be able to do it with ease. Number 5, the teacher demonstrates the ability in eliciting responses from the students. It was found that children don't respond because they don't know what to do, or they don't know how to do something, or circumstances prevent their doing it, or they just don't want to. But they found that overt responses are needed in a constant, ongoing way as new things are learned. And when we see students that are sitting in little carols off to the side, working alone with just a workbook, it makes us realize that we are not following the research in that. Eliciting the oral responses is so important. The teacher who can elicit an oral response from a student knows what he has learned, and she's helped him to reinforce that learning by helping him to state it. Number 6, this is a big one. The teacher correlates language arts skills with reading. In the school systems where I have been, there were always 4 different texts from 4 different publishers for the teaching of reading, writing, spelling, and phonics. And I found that I would open my teacher's manuals the first week of school, and suppose I open it for reading. It would say, start with letter J, because the first word we're going to read is Janet. And I'd open the writing book, and it would say, start with letter O, because all of our letters are going to be formed from balls and sticks, and we'll start with letter O. And the spelling book would say, start with letter C. The first word we're going to learn is cat. And if you had a phonics assist workbook, it probably said, start with letter B, because you can see the letter B being formed on your lips. B. So that everything was marching off in a different direction. And, well, that was doing exactly the opposite of what the research says we must do. Number 7, the teacher has high levels of mastery expectation. He or she begins the instruction at a level at which the child can't fail to learn, and then expects mastery at that level and succeedingly difficult ones. Number 8, the teacher can successfully move students from prompted learning situations to independent learning, from the model match to the memory match.